So August is here, and we're now just over 1 month away from Apple releasing the iPhone 16 in September. Today, I want to go over the latest leaks and rumors, as well as a batch of good and bad news for these phones. Since we are so close to launch, we are now hearing about the features that have made the cut and the ones that have been postponed or pushed to next year. Let's start with the bad news first. For months now, and especially considering the designs of this year's iPhones, we have known that the big feature is not going to be what you can actually see. It's not the vertically stacked camera on the lower-end models with the new capture button that Apple is adding. And it's certainly not the design of the Pro models, which look pretty much identical to last year. The flagship upgrade for every iPhone 16 this year is going to be the new AI features and everything that Apple brings to these phones via Apple Intelligence. This includes some really cool features that Apple has already shown off. While we weren't able to go hands-on with these for a couple of months, Apple just released a first iOS 18.1 beta to developers, where a number of new features are finally enabled for the first time. We've gotten to see the brand new Siri UI, which in person looks absolutely unreal. Siri now has way more knowledge about Apple products. You can speak to Siri more comfortably by rolling over your words or correcting yourself mid-sentence. We've got new text generation tools where it can rewrite things to be a certain style, either more kind or more professional. We've got suggested replies in places like messages, summarization of emails, which is actually really dope. And in other places, you can now search for photos using more natural language, being specific, and the ability to generate movies using AI. Here's the thing though, as of right now, that's pretty much all of the Apple Intelligence features that we can currently play with. Everything else, from the new version of Siri that actually knows you and has that personal context, to custom image and emoji generation. Even cooler things like the photo retouching AI capabilities. Apple is not rolling all of those out at the same time as these other features. They're kind of fragmenting the release of these Apple Intelligence features, which immediately made me wonder. If AI is the main upgrade for the iPhone 16, surely it wouldn't be delayed past the launch, right? But, well, according to some new reports, Apple has had a change of plans and has delayed the launch of AI features with Apple Intelligence on the iPhone 16 until sometime with the release of iOS 18.1 in October. This suggests that when you go and buy an iPhone 16 on day one, when it releases in September, it won't have any new AI features built in. You'll have to wait about a month for those to get added to the phone through a software update. Now, upon initially hearing this bad news, it just didn't make any sense to me. I mean, how would Apple actually launch the iPhone 16 without you being able to use the big new feature right away? But then, I was reminded of just last year, in 2023, with what Apple did with the launch of the Apple Watch Series 9. The headline feature for last year's Apple Watch was Double Tap, where you can pinch your fingers together to perform an action. But when you bought the Apple Watch Series 9 in September, right away the feature was not there. In fact, it took Apple about a month and a half until the first major watchOS 10 update, when we got watchOS 10.1. That included the double tap feature. Basically, this is an exact parallel to what it appears Apple is going to be doing with this year's iPhone 16 lineup. It's like the features come in, just not right away. By the way, if you love these renders and you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. Luckily, that's all the bad news. Everything else in this video is a bunch of great things we've heard for the iPhone 16 lineup. So let's move on to that now, starting off with a new rumor that I missed from a few months ago, saying that the iPhone 16 would be Apple's first phone to potentially ship with 2 terabytes of storage, which would be double the amount of storage that Apple currently offers. It's been sitting at 1 terabyte for a while now, and while I didn't believe this initially, I could absolutely see Apple enjoying the ability to price that 2 terabyte storage option a lot higher, potentially sending a 2 terabyte iPhone 16 Pro Max close to $2,000, which is, I don't even know how to comprehend that much money for a phone. Next, we've got some big battery updates. We have heard that Apple was planning to switch at least one iPhone to these new metal batteries that are more efficient and easier to swap out and repair. And now, according to the information, that is actually coming to 2 iPhone 16s specifically, basically the regular iPhone 16 and regular iPhone 16 Pro, the 2 smaller phones in the lineup. The reason this is so good is because these 2 smaller iPhones have significantly worse battery life than the larger models. So the fact that Apple is making these energy density and repairability upgrades to these smaller iPhones first is huge if you don't buy the big one every year. Specifically, if you are buying an iPhone 16 Pro this year, Apple is finally increasing the charging speeds, not just through wired connections with USB-C, but also through MagSafe. According to this rumor, Apple is going to be upgrading the current peak charging rate of the Pro iPhones from 27 watts up to 40 watts, which is a huge jump year over year. With MagSafe, the charging speed is also increasing significantly from 15 watts up to 20 watts. The fact that it sounds like Apple is making some massive step changes to battery life, or at least setting up the foundation for significantly longer battery life into the future, is just the best news for iPhone batteries that we've gotten ever, really. Apple has never changed the construction to this metal casing before, and I think it's going to be a massive deal. Tying directly into this, Apple is also working to improve the heat management of the iPhone 16 series by adding a larger graphite sheet on the inside that will absorb heat more efficiently than the current design that Apple's been using. You might recall it was a pretty big controversy at launch for the iPhone 15 series, specifically how they were overheating really quickly and easily. Even now, my phone isn't warm, but it's also not cool. While Apple has definitely made some software improvements to improve heat management over time, this physical piece of hardware being added is just going to make it a lot better, especially for sustained loads if you're doing something like gaming. It's super cool to see Apple sort of slightly admit there was a problem while also fixing it and making it better at the same time. Now, finally rounding things out, if you were buying the iPhone 16 Pro this year, we have heard a number of rumors in the past month that the new color for this year is without a doubt going to be a new rose color and the return of gold. It's still not going to be a really vibrant color. It's going to be a bit muted. It goes in line with previous Pro Apple colors where they are a bit more reserved. I think it's better than what we've gotten in recent years and a bit more exciting than what we've seen. Nonetheless, I don't think it's going to be the color for me, but I know a lot of folks have been wanting to see a pink Pro iPhone forever. I could genuinely see a lot of regular iPhone users upgrading to the Pro models for the first time just to get this colorway. So, all things considered, with us being just over a month out from the launch of the iPhone 16, things are looking pretty good, even if the headline feature won't be there on day one. Make sure you subscribe for way more on the iPhone 16. We're going to be ramping up the content as we get closer because I am so excited. Drop a like if you enjoyed watching this one.